This evening, us hairy game lords have been playing this Atlantis Rising from Elf Creek Games. Ooh, what did we think? Come with us and find out. Ho, 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 ho.
Hipster King here. We've been playing Atlantis Rising. My days, this game is absolutely beautifully produced. Just take a look at this wonderful artwork, as my friend would say, but not just the wonderful artwork. Take a look, if you can just see that, that's a recess board, dual layer board. What you're doing, this is all for the second part of the game, where basically you're trying to build your portal to get out of Atlantis before it sinks. And you've got various, you collect resources throughout the game, and then you use those resources to turn these blueprints into functioning pieces of the machine, and that also gives you, as part of your worker placement, additional places to place your workers and a whole load of bonus actions. When you've completed the ring of all the separate parts of this, you're able then to build the portal, and all your leaders can then escape and make their way out of Atlantis safely. It's a co-op game, and tonight we played the sort of on the easy setting, and we managed to win. With about one move to spare. I think we would have been pretty much totaled on the next go, but I'll let somebody else tell you about how the sort of rounds progress and what goes on in each round, and we'll get a move on.
Bearded lady here, and can I just say, the artwork on this game is beautiful. From the box art, carried through all the way through you've got the kind of like peninsula, so there are, how many parts on the peninsula? There's 6 different peninsulas that make up the Atlantis island. So on each, you've got the beautiful artwork on there. You've also got the artwork carried through onto these great player boards. So these are the councillors in either female or male. Nice thickness of board on there, and also what's really nice is there's some good beards but also what's nice is there's also a little bit of spot UV on each and every one of them. Like that a lot. Good attention to detail there. So every character has a different ability that is helpful, really helpful throughout this game, and there are 4 phases. What I like about this game is, although it's really beautiful and the component quality is amazing, I got the Kickstarter Deluxe Edition, so the resource components are very, very nice. But what's really nice is the game actually is very, very easy to understand. That rulebook is really, really helpful, and I watched the how to play video on YouTube. So it's really easy to teach this game, and yeah, each round is made up of 4 phases. So you place down your Atlanteans all over the map, and there's lots of different areas where you can place them. So for instance, on this location here, this is the hills. You can see that you will be getting gold from here. So you would have to roll, well, depending on where you are on this peninsula, at the tip. Now that is the place to be. We all know that, don't we? The tip is the most pleasurable, the most profitable place to be, right down there. But obviously it's the most dangerous. Again, we all know that. It's dangerous on the tip. You could get flooded, could get wet pretty quick if you hang around on the tip. But, as you can see, there we go. All you need to do is roll a 3 or above to enjoy some gold. And as you go all the way up the peninsula, and here is said gold nugget, amazing. As you go up the island, up that peninsula, it gets harder and harder to be able to get what you need, basically. So here we go at the top. You need to roll a 5 or above to get the same amount of gold as you did lower down. That happens across all of the peninsulas. So on that first phase, everyone places down their little meeples. This dude's a leader, and then this is a follower of said leader. Everyone's got different meeples as well, shaped in different ways and colours. So you place down your Atlanteans, and then the misfortune is unravelled. And Dave can talk more about that. But we enjoyed this game. I enjoyed it a lot. I look forward to playing it again. There's some replayability in there. We did play, as Pete said, the easy version. And even though we played the kind of like the training wheel game, that tide was lapping up against the portal that we were creating in that last round. So it was very, very close. But a great game, and I look forward to playing this one again.
Hi, Dave the Grey here, and yeah, we've been manfully attempting to escape a flooding Atlantis. Now then, as you're all running away from the floodwaters, there's a couple of decks of cards that are going to help you and hinder you as you go along. So the bad cards, now these misfortune fellas here, so you draw one of these each every turn, so the more of you there are, the more misfortunes befall Atlantis. And these range from just a nice straightforward, a mountain is flooded, so you lose one of your mountain sections. The rather lovely calm seas, nothing gets flooded. Relax. Now, there's not very many of these, but receding waters removes a flood from one of your sections, so those are really, really good. And then you've got more global disasters, so the earthquake makes all of your dice rolls 1 point harder to achieve. So there's a disturbing number of these sort of disaster cards floating around as well. So those are all the negative cards. To help you, you've obviously got the Wonders of Atlantis, so you have a deck of library cards as well that you can earn through putting your meeples on the desert library sections. So these are things like the Law of Persuasion, that's a one-shot, you get 3 volunteers, which are basically Atlanteans that are one use only. Put them on the board, use them, and then they go away again. To more useful long-term artifacts, that give you global things. Sometimes it's just for you, sometimes it's for all the players, but those are really handy to help you achieve your goal. So yeah, this was a really nice little worker placement game. It's all completely cooperative, which is probably unusual for this kind of game, so that was nice to play something where I wasn't trying to stab people in the back. We'll have another game. I'll stab them in the back twice in that, just to keep me eye on. But no, really nice little game, cooperative. So yeah, if you don't like sort of the take that, it's a great game. Give it a try.
So as with all co-op games, the game is set up to beat you, and it's you against the game. So how does it do that? Well, in this game, we've already said phase 1 is when you place your Atlanteans out. Phase 2 is the misfortune. So before you get the action, you have the misfortune. If you've gone for the low rolls right down on the tip of the peninsula, you could lose your Atlantean in a flood. And there you lose that action as well. It's not. The good news is you don't wipe that player off the board or the game for good. He just comes back to you, but you don't get the benefit of that action that turn. So the misfortunes roll through. Part 3 you then get to with any Atlanteans that are still on the map and still in their placement areas. You get the take their actions, and then finally the game gets to have another bit of a bash at you when the gods take their turn. Basically, at the start of the game, it's beautiful. Nothing really happens on the first go, but then you move your counter up here, and at the end of the second round, you have to flood one tile, then you flood another one, and as you go up, so it ramps up throughout the game. And then in those last few rounds, when you're desperately trying to stay alive, at the end of your turn, no matter what actions you've done, you still then lose 3 of your tiles that get flooded. There are things that you can do. You can put barriers in, and some of the players' actions are able to work against flooding in those stages. So there is still some mitigation you can put in there, but it does get tough as the game, and it does ramp up as all good co-ops should. So it does play and feel just like one of those co-ops where it gets more and more difficult and you're not sure whether you're going to quite make it or not. Absolutely brilliant. Loved it. Make sure you have a go on this if you can.
It's Dave the Grey. I'm very grey. I'm going to talk in this voice for the rest of the video because it's killing me.